Okay, another nesrgb installation video. This one is going to be unique in the fact that we're going to use a two-position switch for switching between palettes. We're going to use improved and the natural palette. The unique thing is where we're also going to put it. Down in here. Let's go. Okay, so this is the switch that I'm going to use. This is the same switch I use for overclock and stereo. So it's only got the 3 pins on it. One will be ground, and then the other two will be the two palettes we're going to switch between. And this was actually the idea of the owner of the Famicom. He wants to put it down in here somewhere. And at first I was like, yeah, I'll look into it, but I looked, and if I put a game in there, you can actually see in the bottom here that there is plenty of room either here or here. If you look at the side, down in that little crack right there, you can kind of see where the edge of the game is, and that there is plenty of room between the edge of the game. Even if I slide it all the way one way or another, there is plenty of room there for a switch. So I'm actually kind of excited to do this. It's not really going to matter which side I put it on, other than maybe how the wiring is going to go around there. And if I put the motherboard back on it, you can see that there is going to be just almost no clearance issues with the cart connector. So I'm thinking just right down in there, somewhere right there. That way he can just put his finger over the dust covers and snap it one way or the other. We're doing it this way because he thinks it's not likely that he'll switch to PC10, and definitely not PC10, but probably not to original palette often either. And I agree, the improved palette is so good. I could leave it on improved palette all the time and be perfectly happy. Okay, so the nesrgb is all installed into the Fami, ready to do the switch. I think I'm going to put it over on the right side so you can put your left thumb in there and use whatever tool or finger, whatever, in your right hand to do the switch. So I'll put a little mark there to remind me. And then it's just 3 screws. To remove the throat. And it doesn't really look like there's any reason to do anything other than put it right in the center. And I just use the same drill bit they use for the LEDs. So it's about a 3 mil. And I usually just end up making 2 small holes right next to each other. Like so. And I cut out the plastic between them. Like so. And I try to cut a little bit more with an X-Acto knife, which doesn't always work. But I find if I do that, then I'm able to stick my square file in there all the way, usually. I'm not super worried about being straight or pretty, since it's going to be mostly hidden. All I'm really worried about is that the lever of the switch will fit in the hole, and it's elongated enough to move the switch from one end to the other without hitting plastic. Cut off some flash made by the file. And there's the hole. Now I use Gorilla Gel super glue. It's got a 10-second dry feature to it, which I like. It only takes a very small dab. And then count to 10. And then you can actually touch it to the surface, hold it first a little bit, and it'll usually be pretty well done. And there it is, right over here. That's what it looks like outside of the console. And usually when I'm sure it's good and stuck down, I'll go ahead and add some super glue. I'm going to try to avoid, because it's kind of hard to see now that it's on there, but I try to avoid those holes right there on the side. That's where the little ball clicks in, so you get your click action. You definitely don't want to super glue that thing in place. I'll add some more glue to the side of the switch, just so I know that it's in there for the long haul. Like so. And I got some on the other side without touching those holes, so we're in good shape there. And we're in good shape with clearance on the switch contacts with the top shell. Run my LED back into place. I've actually been melting a little bit of hot glue over those LED wires to keep them in place, so I'll do that. Okay, let's see if I can finagle all these wires. Actually, another thing I've been doing is I've got like a tower of super glue, take a glue stick, measure it, cut it, stick it in there, and then melt it on both ends a little bit. But I've also been melting the sides of it a little bit and then sticking my pallet switch wire to it. So I know it'll stay out of place, or stay in place and out of the way when I go to close it up, like so. And always look in the hole right there so you make sure you're not clamping down on the ribbon cable. But that appears to have got it. Put these 4 screws in here and then we'll take a look down in there. Okay, let's see if I can get my light just right here. And if you look straight down in there, can't really see nothing. But if you go to the side, then you can see the switch. Obviously, the big test will be putting the card in there, but I already know that it's going to clear just fine, because if you look straight down from the edge, you can't see the lever of the switch. And it doesn't even go all the way over there anyway. So, and yeah, I can look down in there and I see at least 2 mil of clearance. So that looks good to go. Let's give it a test here. Okay, so hooked up. Not really sure. I mean, give much of a palette. Let's see, let's try something everybody's more familiar with here. Mario Brothers. This is definitely the improved palette. And get the switch. And obviously the original palette. So that was easy. That was actually really easy and very concealed. I like it. And really, it didn't take a whole lot more work than you know, drilling a hole and putting on the back, which is easy access. But you know, whatever. So yeah, cool.